This meeting is being recorded.
Welcome in, Three Guys Talking Ball podcast. We've reached episode 47, the Michael Irvin Miami edition. I bet you a lot of Miami Hurricanes fans wish he was still playing, even though I don't think he would solve most of their problems. Got recapping the week that was, previewing the upcoming weeks. Had some, not a whole lot. It was kind of a little bit of a boring week, I felt like, in NFL and college. Michigan was off. The Vikings were off. Chiefs are winning the Super Bowl, and I'm gonna have to get cornrows. And Cowboys, Dak showed up, came back. Iowa, they had a field goal.
Sucks.
And Minnesota, the
It's
boat
not any
is
better.
sinking. We've got the World Series matchup. Phillies Astros, as you can see, I'm rocking Colt 45s. Most of you guys probably don't know that that's what the Astros were called before they were the Astros. And then in the upcoming week, Michigan plays Michigan State, looking to bring the Paul Bunyan Trophy back home. Rutgers gets to play Minnesota at whatever bank stadium it is. Huntington Bank, yeah.
Get it right, partner.
Something like that. Northwestern plays Iowa which screams that this is the 10 o'clock Mountain Time ESPN2 kickoff with Bev Mullins calling the game, but the game is actually at 1:30. Not sure what happened where it went wrong, but I guess people really want to watch that game at 1:30. I don't know who. And then Bison play Illinois State coming off a bye. Then in the NFL, Cowboys got the Bears, who are playing right now. It looks like they're about to score. And, they did. Justin Fields just ran one in.
Wow.
So some live TV there. And then Cardinals play the Vikings, which I will be at. But we'll go back, guys. How was the weekend?
You know, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little upset. This is not the Corey Koski edition. I think he deserves that.
Oh, yeah. You know what? That we can rename that. It is the Corey Koski edition. It's episode 47, the Corey Koski edition. I should know that because I did watch him get nailed in the chest at my first Twins game back in 2002, I believe.
Believe it or not, he's still playing some small town ball here in Minnesota right now.
Really?
I think I knew that.
Yep.
The Canadian Killer. I don't think that was his nickname, but it sounds cool. And he was from Canada.
I think it works. Him or Morneau, either one it works for.
Yeah, that's true. But that was, so I'm good catch, Ethan. My new Michael Irvin wore 47. There are not a lot of 47s in this famous 47s. So anytime Michael Irvin was the first one that came to mind. So that's what I went with. But thanks to you, we got
you're welcome.
Corey Koski, make it a little bit more team friendly. Grant, you look like you want to say something.
Well, I'm going to say, I'm going to spend the rest of this episode trying to think of another 47 out there that's popular, and it's going to drive me insane. Because to your point, there's not many. You say, oh, he's number 47, and you're like, who?
I really wish we would have named an episode after your favorite football player, Mr. Sorensen.
Oh my God. No, that's still coming up, dog. We still have
an
opportunity.
Oh, yeah. Yep. We do.
Oh,
49. 49.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I was watching that game this past Thursday, and they're showing a replay. And without seeing the back of a name on a uniform or a number, I could tell by the dude's hairline who it was. Kind of like how everybody knows what Eminem's hair looks like. I'm like, who's this bald, ugly dude who went to BYU? It's my guy, Daniel Sorensen. But luckily the Saints finally realized he belongs on the bench and he should not be on the field. So I'm appreciative of the Saints for doing that for me.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. But you guys do anything exciting this weekend? Nothing?
I built a table.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He's such a craftsman he is.
No, not really. It's pretty easy.
Oh, was it an IKEA table or was it something?
No, it's just some wood. We sanded it, stained it, sealed it tonight. But so really, it was all pre-cut. We didn't cut anything. I mean, I'd probably be missing at least one limb if I used like a big saw. So we do pre-cut.
Ethan and
Smart.
Power Tools does not sound like a great combination.
It's basically like the guy off his Step Brothers.
Hey, Dale, no power tool.
It's the same thing.
Is that a drill? Hey, no power tools up there.
The bunk
It's
beds
what
were a
you
bad
thought.
idea. Why would you let us do that? Well,
But we're good.
I had a pretty good weekend. I won a gun on Friday, which is sweet. We won our playoff game, so we extended our season for another week. So got that going. And I guess we could just jump right into the NFL games. We'll do
Hey,
it a
we
little
need to
back.
ask Grant how his weekend was. He didn't like Grant say how his
Oh,
weekend was.
yeah, Grant, how was your weekend?
Saturday was shit.
Why?
Great.
Why? Why?
Yeah.
It's because, well, thank God I didn't watch that embarrassment of a game. That was just fantastic.
Which game are you talking about?
That would be the savaging that happened in Columbus, Ohio. And actually, I just got an update from the National Raptor Center. Hawks are now endangered species after that game. And with that shellacking that the tree nuts of Central Ohio put on them. So yeah, that was just awful. Well, we knew it was going to be awful. Because like I said, Iowa sucks and they have no future. This team is going to be horrid for the next 5 years because who in their right mind would want to go there? I mean, I know Purdue lost again this weekend, but Charlie Jones, 10 receptions, I think 105 yards, and I don't know if he scored or not. So if there's any, I thought he did too, but I didn't want to look like too much of an idiot. So I didn't say he did, but again, this team, they have no future. I mean, who's going to want to come and play there? When a quarterback has 49 yards passing, and I saw that they had 3 turnovers inside the 30 or inside their 40 in the first half, an interception on the first play of the game. Who would want to go to that? Who would want to go to that school and play for this coaching staff? It's just an embarrassment. This team is headed down. I mean,
on top of that, like they kept saying, Kirk kept saying basically like the backup's worse. Honest to God, he wasn't wrong.
but it's
Like he was terrible.
and that's just to my point exactly. You're gonna
Oh, you guys there?
so I mean, and you knew eventually this defense was going to break, and it finally did. And then once this defense breaks, this team is they're done. There's no coming back from this. So just and I don't care to watch the rest of the year. I'll still support them, but I just don't want to waste my time watching this team play because, like I said, they suck.
So, the bad part about like the majority of what you just said is for some reason, well, I lost power at my house last night. So came on about midnight. And the only reason I knew that it came back on midnight because I turned my fan on because I figured it was going to come back on at some point. Turned my fan on, and all of a sudden, about midnight, I look over that it's on. So when I forgot to look which Wi-Fi network I was on when we started, turns out it was on an older Wi-Fi. So you cut out, so I didn't get to hear like basically anything of what you just said.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You planned that on purpose to make me go through down this again. I think you did.
I promise. I know that would seem like a me thing that I would do, but I truthfully did not do that because I usually always check, and lately it's been good, so I've never had to worry about it. And then you started glitching. I was like, oh shoot, I'm probably on the wrong Wi-Fi. Yep. Turns out I was on John Wilkes Bluetooth instead of the rat's nest.
Those are 2 fantastic things, by the way.
Thank you. The rat's nest is a story that my friends they understand and know what it is. I'll explain it to you guys off air. But if anybody in Dickinson, if I mention the rat's nest, you guys know what I'm talking about. And So, Grant, if you want to go, I think you need to repeat what you were saying those last couple of minutes, please.
Well, like I said, it's just, again, I said this before, but again, it's embarrassing. I mean, I think I said last week to my high school, Mankato West would be able to have a better offense than Iowa. Well, I'm going to double down on that and say that Dakota Meadows Middle School would have a better offense than Iowa. This is horseshit. It's putrid, and it looks like they haven't practiced all year. I mean, how do you have a quarterback come in and throw an interception on the first play of the game, and then apparently Padilla comes in and throws an interception on the first half?
Actually fumbled his first snap.
Which is he fumbled the first snap too.
Yeah, and then threw the interception later.
Oh, for the love of all things. Gee, that's awful.
I think his second snap was the interception, actually.
I mean, you know what? I think we need to do this, guys. We need to send an email to all the presidents of the Big Ten and kick Iowa football out of the Big Ten.
Wow.
Because they don't deserve to be in the Big Ten conference anymore. Watching this, we need to send them out to like Conference USA or the Mountain, not even the Mountain West. That'd be I'm being disrespectful to Boise State and the rest in that conference, right? We need to send them to the old school whack.
Wow.
It's awful. I mean, your offense has mustered what, 9 points in the last 3 games or 2 games? How can you function on this? And you know, if people, who's going to want to play for you? If I'm a wide receiver from, let's say, the St. Louis area, because that's an area Iowa has recruited somewhat a little bit, and you get something in the mail or a phone call and it says, we're the offensive coaching staff, the coaching staff from the University of Iowa. I'm throwing that in the recycling. I'm going to rip it up and say, "Oh, sorry, Kirk, my dog ate the letter you had me. I don't know what to tell you." Who's going to want to go there and play in that system? I mean, it looks like something a 7-year-old boy would drop. That's how uncreative these plays are. And like I said, Charlie Jones is having plenty of success. What's going to stop any of these other receivers from saying, "Yeah, screw this place. They don't care about us. They suck." And then no high school talent's going to want to go there. And then another thing I've noticed with this team, I think, in 2020, Chris Doyle, he got fired from strength and conditioning coach, for a various amount of reasons. You know what I've noticed about this team over these last 2 years, especially on the offensive line? They've gotten so soft.
Yeah.
They're not big bodies. They're not a physical team anymore. So I think that's finally catching up to them too. Because your strength and conditioning coach is one of the most important parts of your program. And over these last couple of years, I look at Iowa and it has declined every single season. So I think firing their strength, it's catching up to them. They're missing on these recruits in high school. They can't develop big bodies. Sure, the Gophers are falling in hard times right now, but at least when I look at their offensive linemen, they look like offensive linemen. They're actually big people. These Iowa guys just look like kind of fat high school players right now.
Well, and that's part of it too. Like I think Petrus, Padilla, they've both been putrid and terrible. But that's probably the biggest thing, because the last 2 years after Doyle was let go, they still had some respectable O-lines where they were able to win a couple of games because they were able to create some holes. Linderbaum last year, who's playing for the Ravens this year, they had NFL talent on the offensive line. There's no talent on the offensive line this year, and that's hurting them too, because for Petrus to have at least look like competent is they need to have some sort of a running game, and they don't even have that.
Well, guys, they haven't had a running game since 2019. The running game and the yards per carry has gotten down every single year by year. And then, this offense is predicated on the running game and play action. Well, last time I checked, when you can't run the ball, you don't have any play action. And they had a couple guys from the 2018 recruiting class and the 2019 recruiting class transfer, retire for medical reasons. So they've missed on players. So they have guys playing who should be playing in the WAC conference, but guess what? There's no bodies. There's no one else to play. So they got to play right now. I mean, they're falling on hard times. And yes, your offensive coordinator, your head coach, and quarterback are going to take most of the fall. But this offensive line has been just as bad. It's just it's not going to get better anytime soon, because sure, Northwestern's offense is awful. And their team is awful. I mean, Pat Fitzgerald today said, I made a petition to the Big Ten to play this game at 6 a.m. because no one's going to want to watch it. That's how awful it's going to be. But one thing that Northwestern always does is they always play good defense against Iowa and they give them trouble.
Yeah. Well, we'll preview that a little bit later on. Well,
But still, it's just,
yeah.
you just look at it, the way their front they play is going, since Iowa doesn't have big physical bodies up front, it's going to be an issue. And it's going to be an issue for years and years to come with this program until something changes.
Yeah, and it's going to be one of those tough conversations that's what happens when you get family involved within your staff and work issues. And
Dylan, this isn't 2014 Iowa issues where
they're way past. They're way
Like,
past that. Those issues.
In 14, they actually, scored some points against teams. They just blew leads. And, they lost to Iowa State, Wisconsin, Nebraska, and Minnesota that year. Well, this year, I have a hunch they already lost to Iowa State. I have a hunch there's a good chance they lose to all three of those other teams, but their issues are so much past that. That 2014 team had talent. Their offense could score. The defense underplayed. They just needed to fix some things, the way they practice and their mindset. Well, this team doesn't have the players. And how can you, in today's world of the transfer portal, what's going to stop 20 of these guys from leaving?
Brian
if you
leaving?
Don't, but that just like what you said, you don't put family and business together because of course the father's always going to have his son's back. You can't tell me Kirk's going to want to fire Brian or, he's going to make a plea to the, athletic director and all this other stuff, but it's just awful. And they are potentially going down a bad rabbit hole because they're staring 4-8, 3-9 an issue. And it's not like a 4-8 team, what they had before. This is a 4-8, 3-9 team who's actually almost seems like they're more like 1-11.
Yeah. Truthfully, this is where their bad non-conference schedule that people would always dog them for is saving them where they've won actually a few games.
Oh yeah, exactly. Their saving grace is this. People in the media say, "Oh, they don't play anybody." Yada yada. Iowa comes back to say, "Well, we play 9 games against the Big Ten, and then we play another Power 5 team in Iowa State every year in the Big 12." What do you want us to do? Play 11 Power 5 teams? I mean, that's scheduling in college football, and it really just makes you sick.
Which most teams do not play 11 Power 5 games. I don't know of a team. You have to dig. But most of them are playing maybe one Power 5 team, a group of 5, maybe an FCS team. But for the most part, most teams aren't playing 11 or 12 Power 5 games a year. It's just not happening.
I think there's one team that I think might do it this year, and that's Clemson, just because, they play their ACC schedule. Then they play Notre Dame. You forget Notre Dame's not in the ACC, but they play 5 ACC teams every year. And then, when Clemson ends the year with South Carolina. So that's maybe one team where I could think they do, but you're right. Everyone else just doesn't do that.
Yeah, well, and I'm looking up their schedule right now.
Because I know it was like
they do not their non-conference was Furman, Louisiana Tech, Notre Dame, and South Carolina. So they played an FCS and a group of 5 team.
So that's still 10 Power 5 / independent teams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's hard to do.
I suppose that is 10, yeah. Exactly. And well, especially if you only play 8 non-conference games.
8 conference games, yeah.
So that, and then we'll go to the Iowa's rivals to the north, Minnesota. They went up, played the whiteout game at Penn State, and I think Minnesota saw white lights. I think that represented them dying. The boat is sinking. I don't know if it's the Titanic or I don't know any other boats that have sunk, but and Minnesota, they came out good. I thought they had a shot. It was 17-10, and the play that where Minnesota or Penn State went up, I think it was 17-3, right? Where it was a clear hold where the guy was just pulling on the guy's Penn State lineman.
Stretched his jersey 2 feet long.
Yeah. Nothing. And then Minnesota goes down and scores right before half. And then that was kind of just when the wheels fell off.
Yeah. Second half was just not good. Third quarter especially.
There was a sequence where there was not a pass interference called. And then the next play down where Minnesota was getting ready to get off the field, where they're going to hold Penn State to a field goal, make it 20-10 instead of what they call a defensive holding, which the ball was, or pass interference, where the ball was throwing
20 yards over his head.
20 yards over his head, not catchable. And then Penn State gets a touchdown out of it. And after that, it was done. The Minnesota's third straight loss. And I think we just need to start talking bad about how awful this Minnesota team is, because maybe then they might start winning and make mine and Ethan's, because Grant's trying to be a stand-up comedian and thought Iowa was going to win the West. And now it looks like neither of them. And right now is
dude, here's who's leading the Big Ten West right now? Is it still Purdue? Is it somehow Nebraska? Is it Wisconsin
I think
in there?
Illinois.
Yeah, it's Illinois.
That's right. Yeah, because they have that one conference loss. Because everyone else has what, at least 3? 2? At least 2.
This is the
I
West.
Nebraska has
the West
2.
standings. Illinois 3-1. They didn't play this week. They had a bye.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Purdue 3-2. Nebraska 2-2. Wisconsin 2-3. Minnesota 1-3. Iowa 1-3, and Northwestern 1-3. So I think this Iowa Northwestern game is for the toilet bowl of the Big Ten
Actually,
West.
it's funny you bring up Northwestern. I saw a graphic today. I can't remember. My buddy showed me at work. But if there's a 7-way tie for the Big Ten West, somehow Northwestern wins.
Oh, jeez.
Gotta be.
Dead serious.
Hey, guys, I've said this before, but we also, in addition to writing an email to the Big Ten presidents to kick Iowa out of the football conference because they suck, we need to send an email and say, scrap the divisions. We're just having Michigan and Ohio State play back-to-back weeks. Is that fair? Can we just go to the Pac?
Yeah.
Just scrap scrap the Big Ten championship game, if that's the case, because the only reason they play championship games are for money grabs. That's all that game is. There's a reason why FCS teams conferences don't have it, because people aren't traveling to go watch, and that's all that game is.
Well, and remember,
especially now the way conference realignment has happened. That's why they have what they need to do is just go back to like the change, like the leaders and legends divisions, make Michigan and Ohio State in the same division.
Separate division.
No, keep them in the same. That game means more. That doesn't need to be played twice.
Dylan, I thought they were in.
They were in separate, but that's what I'm saying is go back and change it to where they're in the same division.
Oh yeah, or just do what the Pac-12 does. And you got to think the only reason they had these conference title games was a money grab, and also the old BCS system. So like, remember when Alabama and Georgia played in 2012? Winner got to play Notre Dame. That was essentially the semifinal, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Well, now we don't have that. And this year we're headed for absolutely utter pandemonium with these conference title games, and a team with one loss who isn't playing in their conference title game, but still has a shot at the playoff. And if the team who's in there, if they're in the conference title game, if they lose, but they're still, we're headed for chaos with these, and which is why we need a 12-team playoff right now.
And after the Clemson debacle, where we don't know who their quarterback is, there's a realistic possibility where it could be 2 SEC teams, 2 Big Ten teams if everything goes as planned. And I don't think many people
You
would have
still
an
gotta,
issue.
don't count out TCU.
No, that's about the only one that could, if they went out, which
I tell you what,
I don't trust Sonny Dykes, but that's the one team that could cause chaos and make things. That was where it would.
Even if Oklahoma State wins out and they beat TCU again, not again, but they avenge that loss, you don't think the Cowboys would have a shot at sneaking in at number 4?
They could, yeah, too.
Yeah,
But
so
they still have Oklahoma. They still have a couple of.
That's what I'm saying. You still have good opponents to play, and if you beat those guys and you beat TCU, and you get that 12th win, and you beat everyone in your conference, I mean, they still might have something. But like I said, we could be headed down for some absolute chaos.
Yeah, which gives us good things to talk about. So
exactly.
let's root for chaos. So we'll go up to the NFL. Vikings were off this week, so they got a nice bye. The Cowboys 24-6 over the Lions. Dak was back. He thought he looked okay. There was nothing special. I thought they did a good job of kind of keeping him not doing a whole lot. I think a lot of it was just trying to get him back into the swing, back into the rhythm of things. He managed the game well, 19 of 25, 207, had a touchdown at the end. Pollard, they had a solid run game. Pollard, 12 carries, 83 yards. Zeke, 15 carries, 57 yards, 2 touchdowns. They moved the ball well, but the story of the game was the defense again. 5 turnovers in the second half. They scored touchdowns on 3 of the 4. One was the one that they didn't was on the right on where the Lions fumbled on the goal line, and Dallas was able to still get a couple of first downs just to get out of the shadow of their own end zone. And then the 5th turnover was ending the game with a kneel down. So 21 points off of turnovers. Really just another dominating performance. And the game changed on that fumble right at the one, which was Micah Parsons had a hustle play, which when you see your best player doing that riles up your own team, where it was a screen pass to Brock Wright and looked like he was going to score. He was down at the 1. The Lions did not challenge it. But if you watch that play back, you can see Micah Parsons sprinting from the line of scrimmage to chase Brock Wright down and tackle him at the 1, which set up the fumble, and Dallas recovers. And it was just an incredible play, and it's why he's one of the early favorites to win Defensive Player of the Year. And that might be the play that bumps him into the favorite right now, I think. It was just
also go Slay.
Yeah, well, I didn't ask for your opinion. But
it's a good thing I have the best opinions.
That is fiction.
Very fiction. We said Minnesota was going to be undefeated going into the Penn State game, and that didn't work out. So
yeah, no, that went sour quick.
And it looks like, I know I'm a little bit behind on this, but it looks like Bailey Zappi is taking over.
Yeah, he
Mac
went right
Jones.
down the field.
Yep,
right down the field.
So what did Mac re-hurt that ankle, or Bill was sick of this and needed to jump?
Oh, he was awful. It was just terrible.
They had,
gotcha.
I think they had like one or 2 first downs. But
not bad, even honestly. I think that's a touchdown though. Yeah, he's up. Yeah, that's a touchdown.
Yeah,
his knee goes down again. No, it extends. Yeah, that's a touchdown, 100%.
So back to the Cowboys. This defense, just let your defense win it. Don't do anything stupid. Just let them play complementary football, run the ball, keep that defense fresh, and you're going to win a lot of games. With the trade deadline coming up, I wouldn't mind them trying to make a move for a receiver. I don't know which ones are going to be available. I know possibly Chase Claypool, who I am not a fan of, and I do not.
Why would you want that?
Exactly
He's
what
so overrated.
Exactly why I said I don't want him. His name was just has been brought up in trade talks, or Jerry Jeudy, who could.
Why would Denver move off him?
They're reportedly shopping him because, well, I mean, neither quarterback, whether it's Rippon or Russell Wilson, can get him the ball. Nathaniel Hackett can't hack it, and
Hackett's gonna get fired.
I think he will.
He might actually. There was talks that if they don't beat it, depending on if they don't look somewhat decent in London, they might fire him. Talk about
they have new ownership since they hired him. No one's lied to him.
Yeah, but hey, and let's like Ethan just said, let's not forget, Ethan was ahead of this 2 weeks ago when he said these owners in Denver did not hire him.
Yep.
And they're embarrassed about the product they're putting on the field. Could you guys, could you imagine this? We get upset if we spend $55 and we play a horseshit round of golf. Could you imagine if you spend $4 billion to buy a football team and this is the product you have on the field?
And you trade your entire draft class.
Your entire
and you pay and pay your quarterback $250 million for that.
Just to suck.
Yeah.
I'd be embarrassed too. And this guy's going off making horrible commercials about different ways to eat a sandwich, buying the most expensive house in Colorado. You can't even talk to him unless you go to his manager. It's like,
but let's not forget, let's ride.
True.
He stopped saying that. He had his last interview. He wanted to say it. He couldn't say. He didn't say it.
right off the end of the cliff.
Well, the Broncos country let's ride. Let's not completely dismiss it because it has given us some fantastic memes.
I thought Denver would fall apart in December because that's what Russ does. Because remember, he's too good to sleep. No time to sleep. I only sleep 3.5 hours a night. But the fact that they're kind of almost falling off before November is just delicious. You guys do not understand how fantastic this is.
Yeah, we know.
Oh yeah, we know.
You're.
Look at the Packers. That's great.
This is true.
What was that? What was that? I didn't hear that either.
I do understand how you feel. Look at how bad the Packers are. This is phenomenal.
It's how fantastic is that? I mean,
it's
just, and you know what? Let's call a spade here. Rodgers sucks. Brady's fallen in hard times, and Russell Wilson is down. It's kind of fantastic, actually.
Yeah, I'm going to say it. I am putting a fork officially in the Packers for the 2022 season.
Oh, we got a guarantee.
There it is. There it is.
Sharpie, boys. Sharpie.
All right. Okay.
The Sharpie prediction. Let's go.
Yes, we're going full Seth Davis. Sharpie.
Well, because I'm going to jump on that real quick. You know how big this weekend is in the NFL for the Packers? Because the Vikings have the Cardinals. Okay.
At home at 11 o'clock. That is Kirk Cousins' prime time. And I'll be there.
Hypothetically, and the Vikings have never lost with you at US Bank Stadium, correct?
Correct.
So let's play this hypothetical game here, boys. The Vikings do their thing. They come off the bye. They beat that ass. And the Cardinals have to travel 2 time zones and kick off at noon, our time. That's, in the words of Shannon Sharp, we're serving up hot L's. Green Bay.
Is it daylight savings time week this week?
I think that's next week.
Okay. Can't remember.
Yeah.
Could never remember, but I know it's always around this time.
I think it's always the first Saturday in November or some shit.
Okay. And
sounds right.
So that would be like, if it was a week later, then it would be it would be 3 time zones.
Correct.
They don't change.
Yeah, you're right. Arizona doesn't change. But then, so what does Green Bay have to do? They have to go on the road against
Buffalo.
a team who just had their bye, and they're the best team in football against Buffalo. If they lose that game, they're 3-5. The Vikings are 6-1. Oh boy.
Yeah.
This weekend is huge.
Exactly.
And I can't wait for it.
Exactly. But back to the Cowboys. Those Judy Claypool were the 2. There was talks of DJ Moore being available, but according to the Panthers, that is not true. Him and Brian Burns are both not available. I guess there's a report that Burns some team offered the Panthers 2 first-round draft picks, and they said no.
Is he that good?
Well, including his sack on Sunday through 3+ seasons, this is his 4th year. He's had 30 sacks.
That's not bad.
So that's not bad. Pass rush is a premium at this league, guys.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have it, you can't. If you don't have it, you can't win. And it takes these defensive linemen, a year to a year and a half to really develop and find their groove in this league. Michael Parsons is an alien. He's different.
Yeah.
Most pass rushers are not like him. So why not spend a first round pick or two on a guy where you come in and you're going to get at least 8 to 10 sacks a year? Why not?
And especially if you're trading for him, you're expecting to be drafting in the late 20s, early 30s of the first round.
Anyway, exactly.
So it's not like it's really going to be that big of a deal.
Correct.
And it's to win a Super Bowl, you're an elite in an elite category forever. It doesn't matter if you just win one. You basically never have to buy a drink in that town if you win a Super Bowl, and the list goes on and on of things that you don't have to do if you win a city a Super Bowl. I mean, look, Doug Peterson and Nick Foles have statues outside of Lincoln Financial Field.
Yeah, and
Doug Peterson got a standing ovation when the Jaguars came back to Philly.
I mean, cramming
on that statue.
The guy wrote a book about leadership.
He's got a book.
He's got a book. That's when you've made it, is when you can say you've written a book. Well, when someone wrote it for you and they put your name on the cover, that's when you've made it. That's when you're an elite member of society, is when you can write a book, in air quotes.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess, but the receivers, I would like to see him trade. I don't know who it would be for, but I do think they're still missing a number one receiver, like they had with an Amari Cooper.
Bring Amari back. Bring him back.
Maybe
bring him back.
That's not the worst idea.
No, I don't think. It's not the worst idea. It's not going to happen. But we can move over. Chiefs 44, 49ers 23. This Chiefs team is reminding me of the late 2000s, early 2010 Packers when Aaron Rodgers was in his prime, where it didn't matter the down and distance, it didn't matter the situation. It just felt like no matter what situation this Chiefs team is in, if they're down 3 scores, if it's 3rd and 20, they're gonna find a way to come back and win, or they're gonna convert on a 3rd and 20 no matter what happens. They just find ways to do it. This is looking like a team that is going. They are on a mission. They aren't. This might be the first time Patrick Mahomes has to go on the road in a playoff game. It doesn't look like they really care, because they're going to find a way to convert a 3rd and 20. They can get down by however much. They find ways to come back because they're so explosive. And I made a bet with my boss that if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, I have to get cornrows. And I don't want to get cornrows. And it's looking like I'm going to have to. Like the Chiefs, I think the NFL is just going to lay down for the Chiefs the rest of the year, and the Chiefs are going to breeze through it. They're going to win the rest of their games 49-17, and it's not going to be close. And I'm going to be going up on a podcast in February with cornrows. That's exactly how this season is going to play out now.
Is this Zappy guy the second coming of Tom Brady?
Well, he might be taking over for an injured starter.
I mean, seriously, the dude just had an absolute dart down the left sideline for 40 yards after a turnover.
Dude, the guy threw for 62 touchdowns last year at Western Kentucky.
Like, he's freaking good.
But wouldn't having to see Dylan get cornrows just like make your year almost, Ethan? Knowing how much
that would make me happy.
Knowing how much he would hate that, and not the fact that
he'd have to come to Minneapolis and see how that goes. It'd be fun.
But then the fact that he would have to sit back and let his boss know that, hey, you were right and I was wrong. We all know how much Dylan loves telling people he was wrong.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It scored. Well, because most of the time they are wrong. And the other part too is like I just can't get away from Chiefs fan, because my boss is a Chiefs fan. Grant is a Chiefs fan. Our head coach where I coach at is a huge Chiefs fan. I just can't escape them. And I'm dumb enough to where I still open my mouth and have learned that I need to be talking bad about the Chiefs. But now I'm done. They've silenced me. It's very rare that I am speechless.
So two
I am
things. Joe.
speechless.
Two things. Well, three things. One, I'm glad you're speechless. Two, maybe since you're surrounded by Chiefs fans, maybe you just need to convert and say, sorry, Dallas, moving on, 12 to those guys. Or you just need to move to Kansas City. It's one of those three options.
Yeah, well, I do enjoy, of the little time I was there, I did enjoy my time in Kansas City. It is a phenomenal, very underrated city. And I wish I would have been able to spend more time there. We went down to a coach's clinic down there. The food, fantastic. And there's just a lot going on there. I think they've got the Negro Leagues Museum. They've got, the draft is going to be there this year.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some other, they've got like I think they have a Holocaust museum there or something, like a World War II museum.
Or is it World War I? I think it's World War I.
Or maybe that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, if I go back, I definitely want to check out the Negro League Museum or Hall of Fame. I have a Kansas City Monarchs hat. And I bought a Chiefs shirt when I went to Arrowhead. I was gonna buy you a AFC Champions shirt, but they were sold out this year when I went there.
Oh, they didn't. They were out on the shelf.
Yeah, the 2022, 2021 AFC Champions.
Well, here's the problem.
They didn't have any.
You were on the wrong continent, my guy.
Oh, I was? They didn't win
Yes.
last? Oh, okay, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that is correct. If you go to those poor kids in a different continent, they were wearing those shirts and they were pretty happy to get them with that. But like what I told you guys after week 2 of that Chargers game, you know what I love most about this team and Andy's teams? They don't flinch. They don't give up. Steiners go down first drive, good drive, the running game going. Garoppolo didn't have much pressure early, but you know what they do? They hold them to a field goal. Chiefs first drive, third down pass. Patrick tries to get it to Sky Moore. Defender makes a good play on the ball. It's tipped. And is it Hyunga? Is that how you say his name? Number 29, the USC kid for the Niners. He makes a heck of a play and breaks on the ball. Well, the Niners go down, get a touchdown, and you're down 10-0. And it's like, well, one, maybe it's just required whenever these two teams play that someone needs to be down 10-0. And the second
down 10 points.
Or down 10 points. And the second score is a direct reflection off of an interception. I think it just must be written in the stars. But this team, they just don't back down, and they're not afraid of anybody. They stick to their game plan. They don't flinch, and it's exciting now to see especially these last 2 weeks. Like what I told you guys in August, with these new receivers, they're going to get things going. And if they can get things going with Juju and MVS yesterday, and you continue this running game, it's gonna line up to be a great year. And talk about also a drastic difference from watching football on Saturday to Sunday. I mean, Saturday you're sitting back, you're depressed, you feel like you're watching football from 1904. And then on Sunday, it's just a complete 180. It's just I'm speechless. I literally
a tear in your eye right now.
Well, I'm not going to cry. They didn't. It's no Super Bowl victory. It's a nice Week 7 win on the road when you're 5-2 going into the bye. But it's innovative. They attack on offense. And you know what? When Spags said enough is enough and they started bringing pressure on defense, they got to Garoppolo and they caused, that turnover at the end of the first half after the muffed Sky Moore punt. And then, the safety by Frank Clark there. Chris Jones got after it again. It was nice to have Willie Gay back. I mean, you look at the way this team's going, how they're still a little banged up going to this bye week. I mean, let's roll into Tennessee on Sunday night against 2 weeks. Sorry, that game's in Arrowhead. But I'm excited with the way this trajectory for this team's going this year.
Well, you should be, because they're winning the Super Bowl. It's just gonna happen. You can just say it right now. The Chiefs are winning the Super Bowl.
I think Dallas is.
What would be kind of funny? Call me crazy, guys. I'm not going to be this fan because you never do it before. But the Chiefs win a Super Bowl. You almost have to add to the quote unquote what that citizen called me in Fargo when he saw my tattoo, called me a criminal. If they win this one, it's almost like I got to get one like on there, but throw in all the Roman numerals 4, 54, and 57.
Yeah. Well, then you just have to keep adding to it if they win more, but
And that would be the goal.
okay. Well, they're looking good. It might be unfortunate that we have to watch the Super Bowl in the AFC Championship game, but we got a long ways to go before that happens.
And also, hey, dude, Cincinnati is going to have something to say about that.
They look like they've taken their liquid IV, they've taken their Goodies hangover, they've been hydrating, they've had some Skyline chili to kind of soak up. They're drinking from the Super Bowl hangover, so yeah, they look like they're rolling right now.
One of these two teams is probably going to have to play the Bengals in the divisional round.
Yep.
So, there's that team there in Southern Ohio. They're going to have still something to say about it too. And the Bengals still have to play the Bills and the Chiefs.
Yeah, they do. Yep, you're right. But we'll move over to pro baseball. We have a World Series matchup, something none of us predicted at the start of the year. I don't think all three of us had either team in the World Series, but we got Phillies Astros. That game game 1 is set for Friday at 6 Mountain Time on Fox. Phillies, their first appearance since 2008, I believe.
Or 2009.
Or 2009.
Last win. Wait.
Or yes. Yep. Look for their first World Series win since 2008. Astros are looking, this is their third World Series appearance in 4 years.
Fourth and sixth.
And fourth and sixth. I knew it was 3 and 4 for sure. But Dusty Baker is looking for his first World Series, that a guy who's been in baseball since I think baseball was invented, it seems like. The guy's been around forever. And I think this is the year he finally gets over the hump. I do. I think the way the Astros are playing, I think they are rolling. They are just hot. They are on a mission. And top to bottom, I think they just have a much better roster. I think I like their starting pitching more. I like their bullpen more. And I think the only way the Phillies have a prayer is if Bryce Harper turns into 2009 A-Rod, where he completely just carried the Yankees to a World Series title. And right now, Bryce Harper, he is playing like that 2009 A-Rod, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think this Astros team is too strong.
I kind of want the Phillies to win. I know, I'll say it. Bryce Harper's really good. I know I hate the guy still, but he's a freaking freak. But their offense is rolling. I mean, Yankees pitching probably is a little bit better than San Diego, but they didn't put up a ton of runs, and all the Phillies did was put runs up, no matter who the heck went on the mound. Like Hoskins had, 3 homers in the series or something like that? Like some stupid number. Bryce, I think, had 2 or 3. Like, their offense is ungodly good right now.
Did you see the Bryce Harper's go-ahead home run in Game 5 yesterday with the Moneyball soundtrack in the background?
Yeah, it was pretty dope. Yeah, from the dugout. Yeah, it was pretty sick.
Wow. This is like, in 1 minute, Ethan said 2 nice things about Bryce Harper. Well, whoever thought we'd see that happen?
Take at least another year to say anything positive again, but we'll let it fill you out.
A year? Shoot, I was going to say a lifetime.
Yeah.
He's still a bust, just like Chris Bryant. He actually is a bust, though.
Oh, it's fantastic how awful he is. And just think, guys,
Let
the
us not
Cubs.
forget, Colorado traded Arenado and then signed that bum.
Yeah. Oh, but don't worry about it. The Cubs, they still have 100 years before their next World Series title, so at least we won't be alive to see that one.
This is true.
But I think this is the World Series I think baseball needs, because to Ethan's point, there could be a lot of runs scored in this series, and it brings some energy and some pizzazz to the sport that is needed. I don't think baseball can be hacking back and having 2-1, 3-2 games. I mean, I personally want to see 7, 8, 10, 9, wild, crazy games like when the Dodgers and Astros played was, in that game in Houston. Yes, in 17. Thank you. I want to see that. And I think these two offenses could provide that. And I'm all for it. I'm hoping for it. But, I said last week, I think this is just Dusty Baker's year. So I'm not going to back down from it. I think, I'm with you, Dylan. I think the Astros are going to win, but it's going to be a long, hard-fought series. And what's interesting is it seems like whenever the Astros are in the World Series, the home team on the deciding game always comes up on the short end of the stick. So it'll be interesting to see if if the Astros watch another team celebrate a World Series title on their turf, because they just don't want to win one in Houston, I guess.
No. And I lost my train of thought, but to your point, though, I think Dusty Baker is a guy that deserves a World Series trophy for how long he's been, how close he has been, and I think I think if the Phillies want to, that's what my train of thought was. I think if the Phillies want a shot to win this, because I will say Astros, and most people probably when I started the show, if you're watching on YouTube, why I have a Colt 45 jersey on, because that's who my World Series pick is. It is the Astros in 5. I will say the Astros in 5. I think the Phillies get game 3 in Philadelphia, but if the Phillies want a shot, they have to win game 1 or game 2 and steal home field advantage in those first 2 games, because if not, I think it's just going to be tough if they get down 2-0. Because I think I think no matter what, I think that Astros find a way to steal one in Philly for sure, whether it's 3, 4, or 5, where they could go up 3-1. And if Phillies win game 5, all the Astros have to do is win game 6. And I trust the Astros bullpen. I think they're a little bit deeper than the Phillies to win that game, win game 6, their first one back at Minute Maid.
I'm guessing Wheeler probably throw game 1. So
you should be.
Gonna go Phillies win game 1. I think it goes 7. I think honestly it goes 7. I'll take Houston in 7 as much as I want to take the Phillies.
And kind of to piggyback on like what Dylan said, everybody wants Dusty Baker to go on. He deserves it. I'd almost compare it to like when Andy Reid got his Super Bowl in 19. Like people in football, they felt good for him. They were happy for him. And I don't think the Niners will ever say, "Oh, hey, we lost the Super Bowl," but hey, we lost to Andy. That's okay. I don't think teams do that in professional sports. It's too intense. It means too much to these guys. But also, if you can sit back and say, you know what, sure, we may have lost, but at least this guy finally got his. If you're a baseball historian and it means a lot to you, that might soften the blow a little bit. But I'm going to split the difference with you guys. I'm going to say Astros in 6.
Okay.
And, they finally get one at home. Dylan, I think, it's going to start out 2-0 Houston. The Phillies are going to win game 3. Houston wins game 4. The Phillies do not let Houston celebrate on their home turf, but then in game 6, the Astros come home and close it up.
Okay. Yep. And it looks like they haven't announced starters yet, but it looks like it's going to be Wheeler Verlander game 1. And it's nice that they're starting this game on Friday, which gives both teams to get rested up. So they're going to be starting the World Series both both bullpens, both pitchers, everybody at 100%. So
Yes.
cool to see that. Something that they did not do for the Yankees, Guardians, whoever won Game 5, but it was the Yankees, so they got what they deserved.
Best
And
decision
watching-
nobody's ever made.
And
Not
watching
give the Yankees an off day.
the Yankees fans just absolutely implode about wanting everybody fired like they are George Steinbrenner is absolutely hilarious, and I love it.
Oh, it's the best thing in the world because Yankees fans are spoiled brats who they think they're better than us because I live in New York City. Cool. You have rats that are 4 feet long running around your streets. You pay way too much money for rent. You're not happy. You sound very unintelligent with your accent. Get the hell out of here, New York people. I don't like you. You're smug and arrogant, and seeing them cry like little babies is fantastic. And also, that can be said about most people from the Northeast because they're just assholes. Philadelphia people, Boston people, anywhere up in that Northeast section, they're just bad people. So anytime we can see them lose and maybe bring back the crying Jordan for Yankees fans is something I need to see.
Very true. So we got any? You guys got any more MLB talk?
Hopefully Aaron Judge leaves too. So then that way the Yankees fans have something else to pout about.
So of course the Dodgers are going to be in on him now too. They're going to let Turner walk and put Mookie at second base because of course they are.
Oh well, naturally.
Yeah.
Like fuck off. Like goddamn, fucking. I don't even know. Just fuck the Dodgers. Like Jesus Christ.
I hate the Dodgers. I hate them with a passion. If he goes there, I'm just. But you know what? Hey,
why even play the sport?
Listen to this. They're going to go 130 and 32 just to lose in the NLCS.
Or DS again.
Or the DS again. So, watching them from April to September will be awful. But seeing them implode in October like they always do will put a smile on my face, and it'll be worth it.
If he goes to the Dodgers, there might be legitimately be a talk of a salary cap, I feel like.
At that point, I think there almost should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, they buy everyone.
Well, do you think there's a chance, guys, that he sticks in New York and just goes to play for the Mets?
Maybe. Who knows? Well,
I mean,
the Mets have some pretty big fish to fry too, though. They have to re-sign DeGrom. They got to re-sign Bassett and Edwin Diaz. Is that the closer's name? Yeah, it is Diaz.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so that's baseball talk, and then we'll go back to college. We'll preview. Is it already week 9? It is week 9.
Week 9 sounds about right.
Wow, it is rolling by. Next time it'll be November already by the next time we record. And Michigan plays Michigan State. Michigan's coming off a bye. It's the 5:30 Mountain Time game on ABC. It is a blowout at Michigan Stadium. Michigan, before I started recording this, looked like they were 22-point favorites. And this is a game that I don't like playing Michigan State because this is going to be Michigan State's Super Bowl. Their season is not going well. Similar to what they did with Iowa, is they can't let Michigan State hang around because if they do, they're going to start to believe and weird things happen in this game. Just give them the charity of not letting Michigan State think they belong on the same field. Get up on them, jump on them early, and bury them and all their hopes and dreams and make Dan Gilbert cry that he is paying just Mel Tucker $95 million to suck.
Yeah.
Well, talk about an erroneous contract extension. Guy has a horrible first year, but remember it was the COVID year, so according to Dylan, that doesn't matter. Or
True.
does it matter?
No, I said it doesn't count for Nebraska and Scott Frost. So across the board, 2020 does not count.
Okay.
Ohio State that year, they played for the national championship. But even if they would have won, their season wouldn't have been a success because they didn't beat Michigan. And that's all we need to discuss about that one, because I don't make the rules on that. But exactly, though, it was the one year where they had a Heisman, a guy who probably should have been a Heisman candidate in New York, in Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker ain't walking through that door anytime soon. And the Michigan State defense, they are banged up. They have a bad secondary, and then they rank like 125th against the run. So this is a bad matchup for Michigan State, but Michigan State, I expect them to come out early. They're going to be throwing every single type of trick play, the whole kitchen sink at Michigan to try to make this a game.
Because also, did Michigan State also have a bye last week, just like Michigan?
No, they beat Wisconsin in double overtime.
I thought that was 2 weeks ago.
No, it was this week. I'm pretty sure
It was 2 weeks ago because last weekend Wisconsin beat Purdue.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
So is this a rare occasion where both teams have a bye coming into this game?
Yeah.
I think it is.
It is. Yep.
So that adds a little more intrigue to this, because to your point, Dylan, Michigan State, they know their season has gone pear-shaped. It's not good. I mean, they were a preseason top 10 team. Again, like we said before, that shit doesn't matter. But they had a lot coming into this year. Head coach, new extension. He's the guy. He's allegedly recruiting well, bringing in good talent to East Lansing, and it just they're falling flat on their face. So now, like you said, they're going to throw the kitchen sink at Michigan. This is their Super Bowl, but now they've had 2 weeks to try to get ready for this. I think if you're Michigan early, you got to be ready for a weird onside kick, a fake punt, Michigan State going for it on fourth down. Uncharacteristic things that they do on their offense. Maybe Michigan State tries to play with a little more speed, so Michigan can't substitute. Different things like that. Add of characteristic things Michigan State hasn't done this year to try to slow Michigan down. Maybe they change their defensive front up. I think they play a lot of even front. Maybe this week they switch it up and they have an odd front. So then Michigan has to change the way they communicate and their different play calling with that. And then with that, they're thinking Michigan can't get in a groove. They don't have that play action game going. And maybe McCarthy will throw us a ball here and there. So it's going to be interesting, to your point, because they've had 2 weeks to try to get ready for this. And, they're also thinking, shit, why can't we win this game 3 years in a row? Because, Michigan had a lot of success last year, but, people are going to say, in East Lansing, they're only going to say this, well, they didn't beat us. We walk around for 364 days and we can say, yeah, Michigan State beat Michigan last year. So there's some layers to this game that are interesting. But to your point, Michigan could just put all those layers to bed early if they come out and they do what they're supposed to do. They dominate, they get the running game going. They get after Michigan State's quarterback. If they jump on him, they should be able to jump on him early, and this really shouldn't be much of a game going into the third or fourth quarter.
Yeah, and the way this team has played, where outside of the Maryland game, they have come out guns blazing. They haven't let teams really stick around. You can make the argument with Penn State, but it was one play and then a fluky pick six that bounced around twice. And other than that, Michigan took care. That game wasn't remotely close, and I hope this game goes the way the Michigan Penn State game should have went, where they don't give up that big chunk play. They don't have a fluky turnover, because Michigan State always seems to get one or two of those in this game.
Yeah.
And I think Michigan with the bye week to prepare, I think they do that. I think they go put Michigan State to bed early, and we celebrate. Paul Bunyan, J.J. McCarthy leads the rest of the Wolverines over to the Michigan State sideline and grabs Paul Bunyan and goes and runs around the Michigan Stadium with it. So I like Michigan. And the biggest thing, Michigan State doesn't have Kenneth Walker this year.
Well, that also, how I said Mel Tucker's thinking, ooh, let's beat Michigan 3 years in a row. Jim Harbaugh's thinking, I can't let this team beat me 3 years in a row. Because if there's one thing in the recruiting aspect and getting talent in the state of Michigan that Michigan State has over Michigan is this. Well, we beat these guys. If Harbaugh and Michigan win this game, they dominate, they kick ass. There's nowhere in that state where he can. There's no room for Michigan State to say, "Hey, we're better than them." It's all Michigan, and I think that's going to be something for for Jim and his coaching staff that they're going to really hone in on these last 2 weeks, getting ready for this game.
Yeah. And with that, we'll go to the first game of the day of our three teams. Rutgers travels to Minnesota. Minnesota is looking for their first win in 3 games. They're 14.5-point favorites. That game kicks off at 12:30 Mountain Time on the Big Ten Network. Ethan, how are we feeling? Does Minnesota find a way to get back into the win
column? If we lose this game, just don't play the rest. Like at this point, like just let it go. Just don't even show up.
Are we pulling
gas or anything like that?
Are we pulling a Duke and canceling the season?
Absolutely.
Like in 2020, they just canceled the season because they weren't going to make the tournament, but didn't want to look bad on Coach K's resume. So, like any loser, they said, "Oh, COVID was the excuse," and they canceled the season.
100%.
Are we canceling the season?
Yeah, 100%. No, we're canceling the season. I mean, that's what's the point? You lost to Rutgers. You lost to like the ass of the earth. Why even play another game? Why step on the field again and embarrass yourself?
You know who Rutgers reminds me of? Like the old NCAA games, guys. When you play
a semi-decent Iowa team.
No. They're still much worse than Iowa. It was this. Like they'd be like FCS East.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I forgot to mention that last week, but I was going to say before Iowa played Ohio State, it was actually Ohio State versus FCS Midwest.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not wrong.
Yeah. That's fair.
Why?
Point.
Because they suck.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. But no, I mean, I hope they win. God, I don't know what I'll just not show up to the podcast if they lose next week to Rutgers. If I do, I will be wearing a paper bag. I will be a Cleveland Browns fan dressed as a Gopher fan.
Okay, I'm holding you to that.
Oh,
I
will.
I both will hold you to that. That has to happen if the Gophers lose. You guys heard that here first.
No, that's fine.
If the Gophers
I work
lose,
at
Ethan's wearing a paper bag on the podcast. So there you go. We'll move over to the Big Ten game of the week. Northwestern at Iowa. Iowa is an 11-point favorite.
What?
Yeah.
What's the over-under? Like 12?
31.
37.
What the hell?
I thought it was 31 I saw the other day.
According to the Caesars, and I'm looking on the ESPN app here. Yeah, Iowa is an 11-point favorite.
How is that possible?
I don't know. And the over-under is 37.
Pound the under, folks. Pound it. Pound the under. This has 13-9 written all over it. Or it'll be a blowout. When I say a blowout, it'll be 20-3. One team.
If there's 3 touchdowns in this game, Grant has to shave his beard.
That's can't do that.
How about if there are 5 touchdowns in this game, you have to shave your beard.
Offensive.
5 offensive touchdowns, you have to shave your beard.
We got ourselves a deal.
Oh yes, let's go.
Yep. We got ourselves a deal.
And you have to shave it on live on the podcast.
I don't think that's I don't know if I want to shave it on a podcast, but
you have a vacuum, you're fine.
If they lose, if there's 5 offensive touchdowns, I will shave the beard.
Okay. All right. I like this. What does Iowa have to do to win this game? What do they have to do to get some touchdowns? What are we looking for here, Grant?
Well, like I said earlier, they need to figure out this Northwestern front, because Northwestern, they like to play that 3-man odd front where they put someone on the nose right in front of Iowa's center. And then that way, right as he snaps the ball, he's got someone in his face. And it's hard for Iowa center to, get a good set in the run game. because he's got someone right there. And then when he's battling that nose tackle, there's no push, so there's no obstructions up at Northwestern's linebackers, and then these linebackers can get off free and make a couple of plays. So Iowa, they need to figure out the middle of this Northwestern defense, because if they're able to get some push in the middle and get up to these linebackers, Iowa might be able to make some plays offensively, because like I said, they're eating up those first two levels of blocks. But if they can't, it's going to be a long game for the Hawks. And then if it's going to be, they can't get the passing game going, then somehow then they won't be able to get the running game going. Then they won't be able to do anything in the passing game. It's going to be another long day at the ballpark.
Yeah. Have they announced who's going to be the starter? Or is it even a competition? Are they still going to rock with Petrus, or is it going to be whoever has a better week of practice between him?
I think it's going to be whoever has a better week of practice, because I saw a report today where they released their depth chart, and there was like either no starter or there was a co-starter.
Okay.
So they're being very coy about it. What's interesting, I think last year Padilla started against Northwestern because Petrus was hurt. And then Petrus got hurt in the first or second half, and Padilla came in. So, Northwestern faced both of these teams last year, both of these quarterbacks, excuse me. So I'm not sure. I don't even know if the coaches know. I think they're just trying to kind of figure it out. And at this point, just put a Band-Aid over a huge cut where it's just going to keep bleeding and keep bleeding and keep bleeding.
I don't think there's a Band-Aid big enough for this Iowa quarterback situation.
No, there's not. And actually, I should have said a better line. Hey, we're going to need a bigger boat, because they are out in some serious shark-infested waters, and they're in trouble. So with Iowa, big thing, they got to be able to try to somehow figure out this Northwestern defense, which has given them a lot of trouble over these last 5 years. If they can't do that, it could be a world of hurt. And I was going to also double down, guys, on the if Iowa loses, I also might throw on a paper bag.
Okay.
And I think I'll just write on there in Sharpie that says "We suck."
There you go. All right.
Just because you beat Northwestern doesn't mean you don't.
And that way, if you guys
same
have
thing goes for Minnesota and Rutgers.
If you guys have paper bags on, if both of you guys end up having paper bags on your head, I will say this will be the best the podcast has looked since all three of us have started this.
I would agree. It's funny because he made an ugly joke, but it's true for one of us.
Are you going to be like turned around facing the other way, Dylan, so we see the back of your head, or what are we doing?
If Michigan loses, yes, probably. We might not even have a podcast.
No. If Michigan loses, you have to do one streak down the middle of your head for the podcast.
No, absolutely not.
Come on.
I already have enough issues with my hair of the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. I don't need another one. Okay.
Well, think about it. You shave it. Think how nice and luscious it's going to be when you have to put cornrows in.
God, you're going to
not if I have to put a middle. Not if I have to shave it right down the middle.
Can you do a rat tail then for us right down the middle, just for the podcast?
I already kind of do. If you put it down enough, it's more of a widow's
you can do it.
But yeah, I don't just let it on the back.
No, but dude, if Michigan loses to Michigan State, I think you need to put the paper bag on.
I was gonna turn. I could put a paper bag on, or just go to the back. Yeah, just record like this. Like I don't even want to show my face. But let's hope none of that happens. Let's hope we all get back on get back. You guys join me back on the happy train with a Michigan win, a Minnesota win, and an Iowa win.
In a Wisconsin and Nebraska loss.
Exactly. There you go. And we'll go over down to the FCS. North Dakota NDSU plays Illinois State on Saturday. It's a 1:30 Mountain Time game. I believe it's on ESPN Plus and WDAY if you're watching in North Dakota. And Bison are coming off a bye week. We'll see. It sounds like hopefully they can keep working on improve their tackling Phoenix Sproles is gone. It's going to open it up more for Braylon Henderson, DJ Hart, Zach Mathis. I think there's some people that are thinking the Sproles loss is a big loss. I'm not on it. He had 3 catches this year for 29 yards. He's not going to be that missed. He just didn't have the career that a lot of people thought he would. He had a decent year in 2019, but after that, he just didn't work out. It couldn't stay healthy, couldn't stay on the field, and he ended up getting passed by Hart, DJ Hart, and Braylon Henderson, who are both really playing well and have stepped up as of late. So hopefully that's something to build on. Do you guys know who the Illinois State quarterback is, though?
I do not.
Is it like some NFL quarterback's son or brother?
It is not.
Illinois State. Oh, I know who it is. Yeah, it's what's
it's
his nuts?
Grant's
the Gopher.
It's a
Yeah, Gophers old
fellow
walk-on.
Mankato West Scarlet, Zach Annexstad, one of Grant's alumnus partners.
I did not know that.
Yep. He is playing for the Redbirds. So I'm not gonna say I know a whole lot. I know Illinois State is a little bit down this year. I know they had a lot of roster turnover from last year to this year, and they're slowly turning around. I think they've won like 3 straight right now. So playing the Bison coming off a loss. The Bison have not lost a game after a bye week in 35 games.
It's pretty good.
But that's incredible.
Yeah. And now this is including, so when I say buys, I'm including
Sounds like the national championship or
the
no?
national championship. That bye they usually will get in Thanksgiving weekend, of the playoffs, in their regular bye week. They've had a couple of bye week times where they've had 2 bye weeks, but Bison.
I mean, that's still impressive. That's, damn near 3 full seasons worth of games when you're not losing after your bye week. That's impressive.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know any team that's done that.
That's almost as good as when Andy Reid has 2 weeks to prepare.
Yep.
For someone after a bye.
Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
And so Bison, if they can improve on their tackling, keep working on the pass game, run the ball well, I think I would like to see them use Tamarick Williams and a couple of their other running backs more. TK Marshall, try to put Hunter Lipke in the garage for a little bit, get him healthier, because I think he was kind of showing some signs of wear and tear in those last couple of games, which might explain why he wasn't in some of those crucial situations against SDSU. But bye week to get healthy. Hopefully the Bison, they've been able to work on some things as far as tackling go, finding a little bit more creativity in the playbook to help kind of get some explosiveness in the second half, because this year on offense, it seems like they have a good 15 to 20 plays, but then after that, they just go really vanilla, and they almost go into do not lose mode, where they just get super conservative, where I'd like to see them be a little bit more aggressive. But I think as long as NDSU plays the way they played against frankly, when they weren't playing, I think if they play now I'm just stuttering, but I want to see them play a full 60 minutes. That's what I want to see, because they haven't done that this year. That's what I'm looking for, is I want the Bison to play a full 60 minutes this week.
Well, and yet now would be the perfect time. After, lost to South Dakota State 2 weeks ago, you got your bye week. You come back refreshed. Everyone's feeling a little more healthy. You're not as banged up. Get ready for the second half of the year. Still win the conference. Maybe don't get home field, but at least get 2 playoff games at home. Now is when you want. Now is go time. On this year, because the regular season's coming to an end soon. And I can tell you this: there's one thing the Bison don't want to do if you want to win a national title, is playing that first weekend around Thanksgiving for the playoffs.
Yep. So that's all college talk we got. We'll move over to the NFL. Cowboys play the Bears on Sunday. 11 a.m. on Fox. The Cowboys right now are a 10.5-point favorite as the Bears are up 20-14 at the start of the third.
Oh, wow.
While we record this, Bears got a field goal at the end after a Bailey Zappi fumble. But Cowboys in this one like to see Dak open it up a little bit more. I'd like to see him get Michael Gallup more involved in this game. Try to get that chemistry that Cooper Rush had with Noah Brown, and then let that run game do its thing. You have Zeke, who's kind of your between the tackles and just get you 5 yards in a cloud of dust. And then Tony Pollard can come in and be that spark plug. It looks like their carries are finally catching up to be about where, or touches are about 50-50. I like that. That offensive line are looking like road graders. And the biggest thing, and it's been the theme all year when we've talked about the Cowboys, is just don't lose the game. Don't turn the ball over. Don't have the sloppy mistakes, which have cost them their 2 losses this year, is where they played sloppy. They did not play mistake-free football.
Well, yeah, I think to your point exactly. This should be kind of a simple game plan and a simple game for the Cowboys. Because what do the Bears don't do well? Protect their quarterback, throw the ball, and they don't stop the run. Well, and just because Dak is back doesn't mean that this offense needs to air it out and they need to throw for 300 yards. If you can just take what the Bears give you, give Zeke some confidence, continue to get Tony Pollard the ball, and then maybe take a shot or two off your play action game, and then just, be complimentary and let your defense take this game over, because the Bears offensive line is not good. And what's the best unit on Dallas's team? It's their defensive line. Just keep it simple on defense, get after Justin Fields, make him uncomfortable. And when you make him uncomfortable, he's going to do something with that ball that he shouldn't do. And you might get 1 to 2 free possessions off of those turnovers. So this is a game plan. Even though Dak's coming back, you can almost treat it like a Cooper Rush game plan. Keep it simple, run the ball. Don't put your quarterback in a spot where he has too many bad throws, and then just let your defense dominate and win you this football game.
Yeah. Well, it's almost, you almost could do an identical game plan to what they did with the Lions. Get him out on the edge, play action, give him some easy throws, get his confidence up, 5 to 10 yard throws. Maybe if you see the safeties biting hard on the run, maybe you can go deep. You can get CeeDee Lamb, have CeeDee Lamb burn somebody for a deep play, but just don't beat yourself. As much as the Trent Dilfer quote of "you cannot lose games in the NFL and still win them," it's so true, especially with a defense like you have with the Cowboys.
Yeah, exactly. Just don't get in your way. Let them dominate. Let them get 3 or 4 sacks again, 5 more turnovers. Good things will happen. And the Bears are coming off a short week
on the road where they have to go travel again. So,
which usually the NFL doesn't do. I'm surprised they did this to the Bears. Most of the time, the NFL is pretty good at saying if you have to travel on Monday night, you get a home game on Sunday.
Yeah, well, oh well.
What do you do?
It's the Bears. Who cares, as Ethan would say. And it looks like they're about to go up 2 possessions here. But we'll stay in the NFC North. A game that I am going to on Sunday. Cardinals travel up to Minnesota, play the Vikings at another 11 a.m. game. It is Vikings open as a 3.5-point favorite. And like we've said, Vikings are undefeated when I am there. It is Halloween weekend, which usually means it is Call of Duty double XP weekend. So,
the Cardinals are screwed.
Yep. And I think I figured out the issue with it's okay to play Call of Duty, but because Pat Mahomes, Travis Kelce, MVS, and I think Juju, they were talking about how they all play Call of Duty and they developed that chemistry. But the thing is nobody likes Kyler, so he doesn't have anybody to play Call of Duty with.
Yeah, he's just a selfish little Oompa Loompa who plays by himself.
He's the mayor of Munchkinland.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
for this game, I
sure.
think the Vikings get pressure on Kyler, make him run around for his life, keep him contained, but get in his head right away and get some sacks early, shut down the run game. Don't let Nuke and Robbie Anderson, Zach Ertz, any of those guys get off. But offensively, keep running the ball, keep utilizing JJ, Adam Thielen, Cook, Madison. I hope should look to have some big games, I think, and keep putting the Cardinals and Cliff Kingsbury, put him out of a job.
Yeah, I think you said it. I think the biggest thing is going to be the pass rush, just the consistency in Kyler's face. The dude can barely see over the line in general. So when you have Smith and Hunter bearing down on him every time, it's going to wear down. He's going to throw 50-50 balls like he does anyway, but he's going to throw more of them now. So my biggest thing, contain Rondell Moore. He killed us last year.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
and this is a bit of a revenge game too because they lost on the last play or they missed a field goal as time expired.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then also, guys, you got to remember this year, the Cardinals, I think they've scored 6 points in the first quarter all year. Like that's unheard of. You have an offensive-minded head coach who's supposed to bring this state-of-the-art offense to the NFL. It's innovative. It's creative. You get your playmakers the ball in space. The number 1 overall pick in 2019 is your quarterback, and you're scoring 6 points in the first quarter all year. This is when the Vikings come off. They have 2 weeks to prepare. KOC is very familiar with this defense that Vance Joseph runs in Arizona. He comes out with a money first 15 plays. You get up early on these guys and you get them out of groove. Get them out of sync. Because that's exactly what the Chiefs did week 1 when they played Arizona. Chiefs went down the field, touchdown. First drive of the year. Next time Arizona had the ball, 3 and out. Chiefs got the ball back. They went down the field, touchdown again. You're up 14 rip before you even know what happened. And then Arizona is just playing comeback ball again. And like Ethan said, you throw it 50 times a game, Kyler's going to get aggressive. He's going to do something stupid, and he's going to throw it to you once.
And also, what you said kind of about Bison.
Was it?
Like, play the full 60 minutes. Like, Vikings need to do the same thing. They haven't done that all year either.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
100%
they've had good halves, but they haven't put a full game together where you're sitting back like, oh, these guys are dominant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it seems like the Vikings, they're really good that first 15 play script, and then after that, they just aren't able to get something going. It was the opposite last week when they played the Dolphins, where they got off to that slow start and then were able to get string a couple of drives together. But yeah, you're right. And I think going back to the pass rush for the Vikings is making sure getting pressure on him, but not letting Kyler scramble out of the pocket where he's able to run around, make some circus plays. You, as DNs, you need to stay at the level of where he is in the pocket. And if you feel like you're getting too far upfield, because Grant, you know this as an offensive lineman, if a D end wants to run all the way upfield,
I'm going to push him.
You'll just let him two-step all the way up there. Just take him where he wants to go, because then that creates a running lane for Kyler to run through, scramble around, make plays. But if you're staying there, it lets the D tackles get a push, and it condenses everything to where he doesn't have anywhere to run, where he's got to do a jump pass to just throw it away, or just live to see another down and take the sack.
Well, and then last year in this game, the Vikings didn't contain Kyler, and he got out of the pocket and made some of those circus throws. Like Ethan said, when the play broke down, Rondell Moore streaking down the sideline because nobody has him, because the threat of Kyler's legs was enough where the defense said, hey, we got to attack this guy so he doesn't beat us on the ground. So you're absolutely right. As soon as you get to quarterback level, you need to peel back in and keep him in, said well. Because like Ethan said earlier, the dude's 5'8". He can't see over his line. If you keep him in that pocket, good things are going to come to you. because he's not going to see where he's throwing. He could see an open white uniform, but doesn't know the Vikings are playing zone coverage. And then he throws it right into some guy he never saw, and he picks it off, and US Bank is rocking, and the Vikings have a turnover, and they're maybe ready to take advantage and put this game away.
Yep. And well, I'm excited to go there. I haven't been to a Vikings game. I think the last one that I went to at US Bank was when Grant, you and I went when they played the Lions in 2018.
Yes, that's right. Speaking of the pass rush, that was another day where the Vikings got at for Stafford all day.
Yep. Daniil Hunter had a strip sack, scoop and score.
Mm-hmm.
And US Bank is going to be fun. It's going to be rocking. That place always is. I'm excited to. I know I'm not a Vikings fan, but I always enjoy going there. It's fun to be a Vikings fan for a day, do the Skol chant. And yeah, I'm just excited to go be the cities. Hopefully we'll be able to meet up and have a couple of beers together, but
Now here's the next question.
okay.
Will this experience be as good or better than the last time you're at US Bank Stadium? I don't think so.
I don't yeah, well, because the last time was the Morgan Wallen Eric Church concert.
There you go.
I don't know. We'll see. It's me and six of my friends. We are going, and it is going to be a riot because we're staying in downtown Minneapolis. It's Halloween weekend. I really don't know what's going to happen, but 7 hours, 7-hour road trip. And staying the night in Fargo on Friday, then heading out to Minneapolis on Saturday. So who knows? I was kind of disappointed. I was trying to see if the Wild or Wolves were in town. They were not. The Twins are not playing
The
in the
Wolves
World
are down like
Series.
50 right now. You don't want to watch the Wolves.
Okay, good to know. Well, I think the Wolves are a lot better than the last time I saw them in person.
Oh yeah, your dad
Yeah.
fell asleep on him, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Phoenix.
Yep, he did. But, I think our seats are actually similar to where we were when we went to the Morgan Wallen Eric Church concert. I don't know the exact spot, but it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I figured out too after that concert. It's like there really isn't a bad seat
No.
there.
No,
So,
not at all.
so I'm excited. Hopefully, we get to run into you two idiots, and we'll kick it over to Ethan for Curveball of the Week.
Oh boy. I gotta
I don't
think
like
now.
that.
I thought you had it this week.
No, it's you.
You never even texted me that.
Oh, I suppose I didn't.
Son
I
of a
figured
bitch.
it was just a
No, you
rotation of
didn't.
me, Grant, then Ethan.
I don't think that far ahead, man. Not at all. Let's see here. Oh boy, I was actually trying to think of just random stuff today. So
Dude,
now you're
pull
really
up on
putting me
your
on
phone.
the
Pull up
spot.
on your phone. Just Google search like random. I don't know. You can find a lot of shit on Google.
I got an idea. Most random conversation shit. You gotta have a
Dylan
section one, you know.
Dylan curveball Ethan on the curveball.
Yeah,
Yeah,
got
literally.
him.
Yeah.
gotcha.
Oh, 128 hilarious conversations. People over here in New York. This could be good.
Oh boy.
Oh yes.
Oh boy. No, those actually are not as good as it wasn't like actual like conversations.
Oh, that's upset.
All right. Well,
No,
either way,
I got one.
Well,
We're
oh,
gonna
you got
find
one now? All right.
No, not yet, but I'm thinking.
Okay, well-
go on with what you're gonna say.
So, Grant, what was the do you have any interesting stories that have happened at Hy-Vee since you in the last couple of weeks that you can share on here?
So the biggest thing I have is with these idiots who are called customers these days. You put something on sale. Let's say it's a thing of cottage cheese for $1.99 or 8-ounce pork chops or pork chops for 8 ounces. There's clearly a limit on there. On the tag, it says, hey, limit 5. or limit 2.
Now this
You
is in
have
your
these
guys' weekly advertisement, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
You have these idiots who come up to you and say, hey, if I were to get 8 of these, would I get all 8 at the sale price? Or how does that work? Hello? No, moron. It says limit of 5. You can't get any more than that. If you want the 6th or 7th one, you pay the normal price. They were like, so would that count if my wife got 8 too? Yes, it would, dummy.
Well, the thing is these people have to figure out how to beat the system. Is what they do is if they want 10 pork chops, say.
Yeah.
So if they buy 2, do they get the discount, or do they have to buy 5 to get the discount?
You could get 2.
Okay.
But
well,
the
so if
limit
they
is
want
5.
8, what they have to do is they buy 5, and they buy it with on their card, and then they have their wife, spouse, significant other, or whatever.
Well,
buy
I know where
the other 3
I know
on a
where you're
different
going.
card.
I know where you're going with this, but I outsmart these clowns. I put all 8 in the same package if they want to play that game.
Oh, okay.
So then the
Wow.
computer knows that.
Well, so then what they do
No,
is
no,
they
do
have
not
somebody
say
come
put
by
5 in a
later.
pack and 3. Do not say that.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I'm just helping these people out, trying to help them save money. It's tough. Inflation's tough. It's everything up. We got to do our best to help the people here. So what they
When
do
you're
is
ready, I do have one now. Just a heads up.
they don't shop together. You could have somebody ask the question and then say, well,
Oh,
I'll
dude,
buy 5, and then
that
another
dri-
person come back later and say, I want 3 pork chops.
Oh,
Or
dude, that
they
drives
just come back another day.
that
and do
drives
the
me
same thing.
absolutely. That drives me absolutely insane.
Why?
I
Because they
can't.
beat the system? They're
I
playing
can't
chess and you're
stand-
playing checkers?
Well, no, it's because there's nothing you can do. Your hand is tied. Like at some point, you reach back and you look at these people and you're just like, you coming back for 5 more? And they just go, yeah, I'll take some more of them. And it's like, they're just.
What are you, goofy?
Yes, I am goofy. Thank you. You picked up on
He
that.
is
That's what
goofy.
I'm going
This is
for.
true.
It's like these. They're just the worst. They're just the worst of the worst out there. And I had one guy come up to me once, and he goes, "Hey, could I get 5? And could I get 5 for my wife? She goes, can I get 5 for my spouse? She's in the store." I said, she can get 5 if she comes here and she grabs them from me physically. She didn't come. He didn't come back to get those other 5. I scared him off.
I did not
Love
know.
it.
I didn't know that was a thing where people would do that. But
Oh
you
yeah,
learn
and
something
dude,
new every day. I tried
and
to help you guys beat the system.
and people sit back and they say, "Oh, can I get one? My mom's shopping at home." And then someone comes back and they say it again, and it's like, we're keeping a total of how many moms does this guy have? It's almost like when you say your grandparent died. It's like you've used that 5 times now. That doesn't work that way.
Or it's the people that say they have a birthday like 4 different times a year when it's not their birthday.
Yeah. Oh,
So they
drives
get
me
the free
so-
Sunday at Applebee's.
Yes.
So you heard some of Grant's problem for now, and well, Ethan, now that he's got one ready, it's your turn
I do
for
have one
curveball
ready.
of the week. All right, fire away, my man.
We're gonna do a marry, fuck, kill.
Oh,
no,
we're bringing
not
this
this
back.
again.
We haven't had one of these
Oh,
in a
yeah.
while.
This
Oh,
one
no.
isn't too bad. Breakfast foods.
Oh,
So
Okay.
French
I like
toast, pancakes, waffles.
oh man.
French toast, pancakes, waffles. Okay. Well,
Ooh.
I will go. I think so. The pancake is that's kind of the most traditional one. And that's probably one of the easier ones to make. Them or a waffle are probably the 2 easiest. All you need is a waffle iron to make the waffle. The pancakes, all you need is a griddle. And the French toast takes a little bit more time. You got to have the egg, you got to the sugar, the cinnamon sugar, dip it in the bread. The last time I had French toast, it was deep fried, which was actually really good.
That sounds not bad.
But I think we actually had pancakes for breakfast. I had pancakes for breakfast on Saturday for our team dinner. But I will fuck. I guess, yeah.
This is kicking your ass. Dude.
This really
This
is.
this is hard.
Because I'm not a picky eater, but I guess I will. Oh man, marrying French toast. I'm marrying French toast. Okay.
Oh,
You love to hear it.
Just because that it just takes more time, and I don't eat of the three. I don't. That's probably the one I eat the least. So it's a bit of a delicacy. So, and when you marry somebody, it takes time. You know, you something you want to spend the rest of your life with.
We don't need this a love lesson.
Now I know. I'm just saying that, you know, it is worth the wait for every time you eat it. Sometimes with pancakes, sometimes it's undercooked, sometimes it's overcooked. Same with a waffle. But and then, oh man, this is tough. I think I'm fucking the waffle because Waffle House. I'm
Chicken.
recency bias. Yeah, chicken and waffles is fantastic. Have you guys ever had chicken and waffles?
yes, I
No.
have.
It is incredible. I've made it just at my house before, and it is delicious. I never thought I'm not a huge like. I don't like syrup touching my eggs and other parts.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah, I know.
You're such a pansy.
Dylan's got a mangina. Dylan's got a mangina.
Well,
Second step of the reference of the night, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is
we're
true.
killing it.
And then I guess, yeah, I don't know. Just I never have.
So you're killing the pancake.
Yeah, so I'm killing the pancake. Just because I don't know. Just doesn't do it for me. And like I said, I don't want to have to kill any of them because I like all three. But I guess
You have to
if
kill
I
one.
have
Come on, you
if
have
I have to
taken
kill
4
one, I'm
minutes,
going with
buddy.
I guess I'm going with the pancake.
He's killing the pancake.
There's no actually. Oh, I guess there is IHOP, but Waffle House is better than IHOP. So there you go. That's what my rationale is behind the waffle over the pancake because
That was very
Waffle
extended. You
House
could've
is
done a-
over
you could-
IHOP.
You should have done a presentation on this in college.
I should have.
He should have
should have.
put a lot of time, energy, and effort, blood, sweat, and tears into that fuck Mary kill. Right there.
Very
Good.
fuck Bill.
Green jacket, gold jacket. Who gives a shit?
Yeah,
Blue or
that's
gold.
exactly kind of my logic is because gold jacket, green jacket, who gives a shit? French toast, waffle, pancake, who gives a shit? I'll eat it.
Absolutely. So, I guess I'm gonna start off with Mary. I'm gonna do the opposite of Dylan. I'm gonna take the pancake.
Okay.
I'm gonna marry just because, kind of like myself, in most good marriages, after about 30 years, it seems a little boring. There's not much excitement or pizzazz in there, but it's steady and it gets the job done. You know, you look at it on the surface, it's not exciting. There's nothing special to it, but you know what? There's something that just hits different about a good pancake for the old grandster, and I can't get enough of it.
Now, are you what are the toppings you're putting on your pancakes? Are you putting on chocolate chips? Do you put butter on it, or are you just the boring guy that just eats a pancake with nothing? Because that kind of would be par for the course with you.
Yeah, it would be because I am a strange individual.
I'd be shocked if he put anything on it, even syrup. He just eats the fucking
Yeah,
pancake.
no, that's what I'm saying.
No, I'm that strange person. I will put butter on there and a little syrup on top, but every once in a while I'll dabble into something different, which is what my father does. It's when he first did it, when I saw it as a kid, I thought it was the strangest thing in the world, and I couldn't wrap my head around it. But putting a little peanut butter on top and then syrup on top of the peanut butter.
Okay.
So I'm not eating the pancake dry. there's at least butter and syrup on there, or peanut butter and syrup. So you guys don't have to be concerned with me in that aspect of my life. Much
if it's not that, there's plenty more to be concerned about with you.
things to be concerned about with the old grandster here, because it is.
I can name off 5 right now.
Yeah, can we?
We don't need to. We'll save that for a later episode.
I mean, I don't want to upset our listeners here, where it's like, geez, kind of feel bad for this guy because he is a bum. Back to
yeah, but you know what, Grant? You might be a bum, but you're our bum, and if somebody makes fun of you for being a bum, we'll mess them up. We'll kick the shit out of them.
I always say this, my job as a friend is to make other people feel.
You will not do anything.
You know why? You know why they feel better? Because they look at me and they're like, I'm glad I'm not that guy. I got, I don't know why I went, I don't know how we got there. So we're back to breakfast here. And I'm about to actually really piss Ethan off here. But I'm going to kill the French toast.
Oh.
No, this is why you're dumb.
It's just it's one of these things where, like I said, they're all good. It's just the French toast just doesn't hit as much as the pancake does for me. And every once in a while, you just to kind of change it up. I'm gonna have that waffle. So we're gonna fuck that waffle, and we're gonna kill the. It's just
so aggressive.
Are you at least gonna buy the French toast dinner or the waffle dinner before you fuck it, or?
Oh yeah. We're gonna be nice. We're gonna take it out to it on dinner. It might not be a nice dinner, but it'll at least be dinner.
Okay.
So that is the way I'm going there with that.
All right. Well, I'm gonna be a little opposite here. I'm actually killing the pancake like Dylan.
Yeah.
I think Dylan killed the pancake. Yeah,
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Honestly, it's just if it doesn't have chocolate chips or something in it, it's just it's just not that good. Like, to be honest, it's okay, but it's like, I don't know, it's like eating soggy cardboard. It's just not that great. But I'm gonna marry the French toast. Like, I absolutely love French toast, and honestly, it's one of my specialties that I make. I do add a little bit of an extra flavor in there that most people don't, so I probably do make the best French toast in the world.
What is it?
I don't.
Or
I can't tell all our million viewers here. That's
all right.
No way. I'm not telling all our million viewers.
Well, you have to ask. The worst thing they can do is say no to you. So
I don't think you want to know what Ethan puts in his French toast.
Okay.
It's not
all right.
What you think.
Continue,
next time we're all together, not at the downtown bar or whatever this weekend, but I will make you guys some French toast with the special ingredient. And no, it's not white.
Damn it.
But sorry, buddy. And then I'm gonna fuck the waffle too. Waffle slap. Very easy to make. It's just like a girl, when you're fucking the girls, like half the time they're very easy to get. It just goes hand in hand.
Now, Ethan, are you saying that because you're at your girlfriend's house and she's listening to this?
No, she's in the other room right now. Thank God she's
okay.
not here. She would have killed me.
All right.
She's not like that, so we're good.
I just love how Ethan has to save face real quick there at the end.
Yeah.
He's got to cover all his assets.
Hey, you never know who listens to these podcasts.
He's a smart man.
Yep. We need to get Coach Zier back on the podcast, because if we're gonna keep having these food debates for Curveball of the Week, because I know that guy is a food enthusiast like the rest of us. He is also now that they're saying that the McRib is back. What's your guys' take on the McRib? I'm on the record. I think the McRib is trash.
It's awful. I'd rather eat dirt. I'd rather be vegan.
It's just cardboard with barbecue sauce. That's all it is.
I think it's vastly overrated.
I would agree. So I know we've got. We're hoping to get Coach Zier back on the podcast here shortly in the next couple of episodes. So we might just do a whole podcast special just dedicated to food and football. So
I was gonna shit, the way we're rolling, we should just be talking about food all the time.
we could, yeah. Not a bad idea. So that's all we got for this week. You guys got anything?
No, just I can't wait to put a paper bag on Grant's face.
Same.
Let's roll. Let's roll, baby.
Same. But all right, that's all we got for this week. Thank you guys for listening. Check us out on all our social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter at 3GTB Podcast, or 3 Guys Talking Ball on Facebook. Follow us on YouTube as well, where we'll be posting the shorter segments of the show. And thanks again for listening. We'll talk to you next week.